Okay. Number 1 says classify the polynomial as a constant, a linear, a quadratic, a cubic, or a quartic. This is a trick question because the polynomial is not written in descending order. So you have to look at it carefully, and this is actually the term that should go first. And because it is to the third power, that's going to make it a cubic. So cubic. And then the next question is determine the leading term. Well, that's the term that I circled. So the leading term is negative 8x cubed. And then they want to know the leading coefficient. And the leading coefficient is simply the number in front of the variable on the leading term. So that would be negative 8. And those are the answers to question number 1. Now, number 2 says find the correct end behavior diagram for the given polynomial function. Okay, so this one is given to me in descending order. So I look at the very first term. It is a negative x to the 5th. Because it is an odd exponent, one end would be up and the other end would be down. Okay? This one, both ends are down. This one, both ends are up. So it can't be either one of those. This one, the left end is down and the right end is up. This one, the left end is up and the right end is down. So it's got to be C or D, and that is because of the negative 5 right here. Sorry, the 5. It's an odd number. But then you have a negative coefficient. That's really a negative 1. Since it is a negative x to the 5th, it has to end going down. And that would be this one right here. It ends going down towards negative infinity. So D is the correct answer. All right, number 3 says use the leading term. Okay, and the leading term is, in this case, it's not in descending order. This would be the leading term. It's a negative 7x to the 3rd, and because of the exponent of 3, one end has to be up and the other one has to be down. On this one, both ends are up, and on this one, both ends are pointing down, so it can't be either one of those. This one, it's pointing up and pointing down, and over here it's pointing down and then pointing up. So this one's just like the last one, except it's a cube, but it's an odd, so opposite ends, and then it's a negative 7, so it has to end going downward. This one ends going downward, so it's B. Number 4, the leading term would be the 2x squared. Now it's a squared, so both ends have to be going up or both ends are going down. This one, both ends are going up. This one, both ends are going down. This one, you got one down and one up. Can't be that one. This has one up and one down. Can't be that one. So it's either B or C. So then you look at your coefficient. Since my coefficient is a positive number, they have to both be going up. Remember, it has to look like a smiley face. Happy. So there you go. That one's B. Okay, 5 says find the zeros of the polynomial function and state the multiplicity. Okay, I've got 3 factors. I have this 4x squared. I have an x minus 3, or sorry, an x minus 8, and I have an x plus 3 to the 3rd power. Well, for this first one, x, if negative 4x squared equals 0, then x would have to be 0. but this is a multiplicity. I'm just going to abbreviate multiplicity of 2 because it has an exponent of 2 on it. Okay, hope that makes sense. The next one is, make this a little bigger. There we go. X minus 8. So here x would have to equal a positive 8, and there's really an invisible exponent of 1 right there. So this is multiplicity of 1 for that one. And then the last one is the pink one, and I've got an x plus 3, so this x would have to be a negative 3. And because of the exponent of 3, it has a multiplicity of 3. Boy, my handwriting's horrible today. Anyway, that's that answer. Now, for number 6, it says, for the function, find the maximum number of real zeros that the function can have. Okay, find the maximum number of real zeros that the function can have. This is not in descending order perfectly, but this is the highest exponent, and so it's going to have a max of 4 real zeros. And then the next question is, what's the maximum number of x-intercepts? The maximum number, it'll be max of 4 x-intercepts. Those are the same answers. But when you get to the third one, which says, what's the maximum number of turning points? The maximum number of turning points will always be 1 less. So it's going to be 3 on that. And those are the first 6 questions. So remember, real zeros and x-intercepts, they're the same thing. They just call them different stuff. But anyway. And then that's how many times they would cross the x-axis. But for the turning points, there'll always be 1 less. Because you'll turn and then you'll cross. Then you'll turn and then you'll cross again. So 1 less.